So what would happen if you dropped a nuclear bomb into a volcano? Well, we know that the geologists have been thinking of this, especially in the case of Yellowstone supervolcano. NASA has been pondering on using a nuclear explosion to somehow release the energy from the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera system in order to forego a cataclysmic eruption that would be an Earth extinction level event. From what they say, it would cause a tremendous volcanic winter and would be hazardous, of course, to all life on Earth. Now, what would happen if you did drop a nuclear bomb into a volcano? This is on IFL Science. A volcano is a lava-filled boil on the surface of the Earth, just waiting to build up enough pressure to spew out ash and lava. So a nuclear bomb, as an explosion, man-made weapon designed for destruction and chaos, it disintegrates everything in its local vicinity and irradiates everything in its range. After that, everything is radioactive. But what happens when you combine one of the most destructive creations with one of nature's? And nothing actually. And it is a nitpicking technicality, but dropping a bomb, even a nuclear bomb, into a bubbling cauldron of magma would be very anticlimactic. The bomb would melt without starting a nuclear reaction. Let's say that again. The bomb would melt without starting a nuclear reaction. A nuclear bomb is made of explosives and a radioactive core, for example, plutonium. To ignite a devastating explosion, the explosives all need to detonate under careful timing to create enough energy to start a nuclear reaction in the core. Once the chain reaction starts, there's no stopping it. But if a nuclear bomb was plunked into a chamber of magma, it would melt, shell, radioactive core, and everything. In order to start this essential reaction and create a catastrophic explosion, a nuclear explosion, the nuclear bomb would need to be detonated above the volcano mouth, or magically transported into the magma chamber center somehow. The less explosion of these two options is detonating the nuke above the mouth of the volcano, just above the mouth of it. If the volcano is a stratovolcano, like a cone, then the nuclear bomb might do a little cosmetic surgery on the top of the volcano, on the tip of it, but probably would not ignite an eruption. The blast radius of the bomb is too small to reach the pressurized chamber of magma that sets off an explosion. The bomb on its own would produce a fireball that would incinerate everything in its nearest vicinity, and it also is responsible for forming a signature mushroom cloud. Farther away from this, there would be a high-pressure air blast that would knock down concrete buildings. Flooding out further than this is the radiation, and anyone at this range would suffer a lethal dose of radiation. And even further out still is the thermal radiation, where people suffer third-degree burns which extend through the layers of the skin. Now, the bomb called Fat Man, that was infamously launched into Nagasaki during World War II, has a fireball radius of 200 meters, that's 660 feet. Compare this to a volcano of moderate height, for example, Mount St. Helens, for example, which is 2,550 meters, that's 8,500 feet tall, after its last eruption. Fat Man, that nuclear bomb, would only create a chip on the top of Mount St. Helens volcano. The Tsar bomb, that's the Russian bomb, the largest bomb ever tested by Russia, would have a much bigger structural effect. This nuclear bomb had a fireball radius of 3,000 meters, that's 10,000 feet, and would significantly reduce the height of Mount St. Helens. There could be an eruption of magma as already in an event near the mouth of a volcano and only needs a small amount of pressure to trigger an eruption. But the real destruction happens when the bomb is suddenly transported into the volcano's magma chamber between 1 kilometer and 10 kilometers underground. That's 0.6 miles to 6.2 miles underground. The bomb would be hot enough to vaporize the magma and rock within the chamber after it's all been irradiated. The magma is a semi-solid, semi-liquid state, but the initial flash from the bomb would boil this very quickly. Dr. Robin Andrews, a volcanologist from the University of Otago, New Zealand, said it would heat it up so quickly that it would turn into a vapor, so what you'd get is a serious vapor cavity. He said, like when you shake up a bottle of Coke, but it's just one massive bubble instead of loads of little bubbles. The bomb would shower the local magma, rock, and dirt with radioactive particles, while a tremendous amount of pressure is being created in the chamber very quickly. There's only one place for this magma, rock, and pressure to go, and that is out. It will go out. Some of the eruption material will be lava, but that is not the dangerous bit. The deadliness comes from the deadliness comes from the plumes of ash. For example, the Icelandic volcano that went off in 2010 virtually brought global air travel to a standstill with plumes of fine dust. In this case, the dust traveled all the way to Italy and Russia and towards the east coast of America as well. In our recent bomb example, this dust would also be radioactive, and the power of the chain reaction of the bomb would push more ash into the environment for a longer period of time, causing long-term contamination hazards. But what would happen if the Tsar bomb was set off in the chamber of the world's most famous supervolcano, the Yellowstone supervolcano? And this is, of course, what the NASA scientists are talking about. This supervolcano has no conical mountain over its signaling its existence. Instead, it's an enormous bubble of magma below the surface of the park, because the whole park is a caldera, is the top of the volcano. The eruptive power of this volcano would dwarf the explosive power of the bomb. The bomb would set off a supervolcano eruption with no problem, but equally just drilling into the chamber would do the trick. Andrews postulates to IFL Science about the global catastrophe that would follow the detonation of a nuclear bomb in Yellowstone. Let's say that again. The scientists speculate and they postulate about the global catastrophe that would follow the detonation of a nuclear bomb into Yellowstone supervolcano. Quote, if you buried a nuke in Yellowstone deep enough and it was powerful enough to crack the magma chamber open, you'll just cause a catastrophic event. That's when the nuke would not be the problem, commented Andrews. The ruinous power of the volcano would dominate the comparatively puny power of the bomb. The lava from this supervolcano eruption would likely be contained within the confines of the park. However, the lava is not humanity's biggest problem. It's the dust that is blown into the atmosphere. Plumes of cold ash would spew out from the ground for many hundreds of kilometers around. It would ruin crops and air traffic, resulting in isolation, health problems from the dust, and food shortages. And on top of this, the dust would be, of course, radioactive. Were Tsar Bomba to explode in Yellowstone, then the closest you could be to the blast wave before sustaining an injury is about 100 miles away. This radius is not the apocalyptic destruction that one might expect, but the Icelandic volcano, it's the clouds of dust that could be swept all across America that would do the real damage. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.